Hey, what's going on, guys? Jason Frosto for TennisUnleashed.net. Wow, what an incredible Olympic final between Novak Djokovic and Carlos Alcaraz. If you don't want spoilers past this point, I suggest you turn the video off. Come back later after you know the match result, but we're going to do some quick analysis and a review of the Olympic final and see exactly how this thing was won. Stay tuned. It's coming up next. We're going to look at the top 5 reasons why Djokovic won this match. Reason number 1, Djokovic had to own the net in this match. So if we look at the net stats in this match, right, we can see that Djokovic won 67% of the points when he came into the net, which was 24 out of 36. He came to the net quite a bit at Wimbledon, but at the Wimbledon final 3 weeks ago, when he came into the net, a lot of times he came to the net as kind of a bailout tactic, or he felt like he'd been defeated in the point and he'd randomly serve and volley, here and there. In this match, he came in with a purpose and converted a lot of times while coming to the net and also serve and volleying. But when he came into the net in this match in the Olympic final, he had much more of a purpose and a specific tactic and reasons why he was coming in instead of as a bailout type of a tactic. And one of the biggest reasons Djokovic came to the net a lot in this match, right, he served and volleyed quite a bit in this match because of how far Alcaraz was standing behind the baseline to return serve. When your opponent is standing that far back behind the baseline, it takes longer for their shot to reach your side of the court, which means you have the ability to get closer and tighter to the net if you're serve and volleying. And Djokovic served and volleyed quite a few times in this match. When he placed his first serve really well to the corner, he'd follow it in and try to take Alcaraz's time away by volleying the next shot closer to the net instead of being back closer to the baseline. And with as fast as Alcaraz is and how well he moves at the baseline, and also how well he played in the Wimbledon final from the baseline, beating Djokovic from the back of the court, it made a lot more sense for Novak today. Instead of trying to battle Alcaraz's feet, it made more sense for him to come in, take some time away from him at the net, and just break his rhythm as a baseliner as well. It seems pretty likely that if Djokovic didn't come into the net and break Alcaraz's rhythm and take time away from him again, that Alcaraz would have had a better rhythm from the baseline and been able to hit a lot more of those highlight type shots in this match. The second big reason that Djokovic was able to actually get the win today instead of the loss like he took at Wimbledon was that he dictated play from the back of the court as well as the front of the court. If we look solely at the winner stats in this match, right, it's a little bit deceiving. We see Alcaraz has 25 winners just on his forehand side compared to Novak's 14 forehand winners, and Alcaraz has 8 backhand winners compared to Novak's just 1 backhand winner in this match. So if you're just looking at the winner stats, you think that Alcaraz was the one that pushed Novak around. But the big stat that lets us know that Djokovic was actually the one dictating play in this match is that Djokovic forced Alcaraz into 43 errors during this match, while Alcaraz forced Djokovic just into 24 errors in this match. That's a situation, right, if you're forcing an error on your opponent where you're getting aggressive, getting them in a defensive position, and that defense that you've put on them forces them to make a mistake. And again, we know Alcaraz hit a ton of winners in this match, right? 33 to 15 total. But if you look at it from the perspective of how he hit those winners, a lot of times Alcaraz is hitting winners when he's in defensive positions on the dead run. He was able to pull that off at Wimbledon, but he wasn't able to pull that off today against Djokovic at the Olympics. And reason number 3 why Djokovic was able to get the win today at the Olympics was his movement was good enough. If we go back to that Wimbledon final, and I covered that analysis a few weeks ago, we look at the fact that Djokovic didn't move very well in that match. And you might say, well, Jason, he just came off of a knee surgery, so of course he's not going to move very well. And that opinion is 100% valid, right? You're coming off a knee surgery. How could you possibly move as well as you did before? But at 37 years old, we know that Djokovic is not as good of a mover as he was even 3 or 4 years ago. Father Time always wins at the end of the day. And as a 37-year-old player, you're simply not going to be as fast pure speed-wise and have the same level of agility as someone who's 21 years old or even the younger version of yourself. But at the end of the day, we also know that the greatest of all time, those types of players in all sports, are able to occasionally find another gear or another way to win a tennis match. And Djokovic did that by varying his tactics quite a bit. He also moved a little bit better in this match. And again, Wimbledon is played on a much quicker surface. Grass is a lower bouncing surface that plays a lot quicker. Clay, specifically red clay, especially because they're watering the court during the match, plays significantly slower than grass does with much higher bounces. And those higher bounces means we're hitting balls at different heights than we are typically in grass. And those higher bounces of the red clay versus the lower bounces of grass means, again, you're hitting balls at heights that are a little bit more comfortable to hit at if you're a taller player. And on top of that, the slowness of the red clay allows Djokovic to get in position better for defensive shots, but also get in better position for offensive shots. It gives him a little bit more time to play a better defensive ball and a little bit more time to get up and get aggressive when he has balls that he can attack. And we know Djokovic didn't play well in that Wimbledon final, but Alcaraz played extremely well. I'd say Djokovic's level today was extremely high across the board, and Alcaraz also played a very good match. But that red clay today was super helpful for Novak, again, in his ability to attack the extra time and the extra time that he got to defend against Alcaraz. Reason number 4 that Djokovic was able to pull off the win today was that his first serve in particular was really critical today. He placed his serve really well, hit a very high first serve percentage, right? He was at 73%. I said to win the Wimbledon final, he'd need to be at a minimum of 65% first serves in. Well, today at the Olympics, he hit 73% of his first serves in, and he was able to win 78% of his first serve points. And if we look at Wimbledon, Djokovic was only able to win 66% of his first serve points on the fast grass at Wimbledon. So he's much more successful. Again, 78% first serve points won today in the Olympic final on the red clay versus just 66% on grass 3 weeks ago. And not only was Djokovic's first serve better today, his second serve was also considerably better. At Wimbledon, second serves, right? He only won 40% of the points he played against Alcaraz on that Wimbledon final day. But today he won 52% of his second serve points at the Olympic final. And the answer might simply be that Djokovic just served a lot better today than he did 3 weeks ago in that Wimbledon final. But I really believe there's a lot more to it than just serving better on the day. I think his ground game was considerably better today, and I also think his movement was a lot better today, and that helped those first serve win percentages as well as the second serve ones. All right, guys, and the final and 5th reason why Djokovic was able to win this match today against Alcaraz was that his return of serve was also better today than it was 3 weeks ago. If we look at the percentage of first serve points that Alcaraz won in the 2024 Wimbledon final, he was up at 84%. He was serving bombs to the corners, lots of aces, lots of unreturnable serves. Djokovic had a lot of trouble with Alcaraz's serve in the Wimbledon final. But if we look at the percentage of first serve points won today for Alcaraz against Djokovic, he went from 84% in that Wimbledon final all the way down to just 70% today. A lot less aces, right? Very few free points. Djokovic getting a racket on all of those serves and getting them back in play at a much higher rate. And it was really Alcaraz's first serve that was affected more by the clay today than his second serve. We look at his second serve stats, we can see that Alcaraz won 51% of his second serve points today. And at Wimbledon, he was at 53% of his second serve points won. And when you add all of these little differences up, it's the difference between getting blown out in 3 straight sets in the Wimbledon final versus winning in straight sets in a very tight match at the Olympics. All right, guys, that wraps it up for my post-match analysis of Alcaraz versus Djokovic in the 2024 Olympic finals. If you found this video helpful or you feel like you learned something today, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button down below. I'm Jason Frosto for TennisUnleashed.net. I'll see you next time.